All right, so the binomial theorem, you will not be given Pascal's triangle, but you do know how to make it in any situation. Okay, you can always start with what?
The one.
Yeah, the ones. Okay, yeah, so you just start with 1, 1, 1. How do you make the next row?
1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
1, 3, 3,
1, 3, 3, 1. Because you always add these two together, right?
1.
Why is it 1, 3, 3, 4?
All right.
1,
So I was
5,
getting
10,
ahead of
10,
myself.
5, 1.
And then, as long as you know up to 5, that should be sufficient. Okay. All right. So these are your coefficients. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right. So the binomial theorem, you're using the coefficients. Okay. And then you guys have your multiplying straight down. So just the things you really got to watch out for is if there's a coefficient like the 2x. Okay, because you do have to raise that to the 4th power, to the 3rd power. The other thing, none of these had negatives in them, but we did those in our notes. So you also have to know how to deal with the negatives. So remember, if it's negative, you take the negative with you. Okay? All right, and let's go over questions on these. Yes. No. No, it won't go past that. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's just do that one now. So you have the 1, 4.
Oh wait, I know
What?
I just did math wrong.
Okay. Any other one you guys want to go over?
Wait, hold on. Let me just take a look.
So remember that you do use your coefficients here. If you're doing 2, right, the way that we've done this is like this. Okay? If people make a mistake, it's usually not distributing correctly. So remember, we can start with 1. So y to the 0, y to the 1st, y squared, y cubed, y to the 4th. Okay? And then we multiply straight down. So 2 to the 4th is 16, 16x to the 4th, 2 to the 3rd is 8, 8 times 4 is 32. And then always put these in their proper order. So x cubed y, 2 squared is 4, 4 times 6 is 24, x squared y squared, 4 times 2 is 8, so 8x y cubed, and then y to the 4th. Alright, if you guys are done with those, then we'll move to the next one. So I will, question on, yeah, one of those.
On the test, will it be like, how far up the Pascal triangle or down?
So 5, yeah. Yeah, so nothing above 5.
Okay.
If you're good to 5, you should be fine. Okay, and then, like I said, I'm gonna keep this formula on the board so you can use that. Okay, the formula, so you have to know what this means. Okay, R is gonna be how many there are exactly. I'm actually just gonna read you the answers for these. Okay. All right. So for 5A, okay, 5A, we should have 1.5%. Now all of these are going to be to the nearest 1/10 of a percent. That's exactly what it will say on your quiz as well. B is 13.2%. 6A, it's right here. 6A is 0.4%. That is the nearest 1/10 of a percent. B is 32.9%. 7 is 17.1%. and 8 is 65.1%. Okay, now I'm just gonna have you guys give me thumbs up or thumbs down whether you got them right or not. Okay, so we'll start with 5A. 5A, thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, what about 5B? Yeah, B got a lot of people. Okay, so let's look at that one. So for 5A, it's exactly 3, the P of 3. Okay, and when you're looking at 5B, it says at least 2. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can either find the P of 2, the P of 3, and the P of 4 and add them together, or you can do 1 minus the probability of 0 or the probability of 1. So you're either finding if it's least 2 or the complement, which would be 1 minus not at least 2. So if it's not at least 2, that includes 1 or 0. Okay? So if you did it this way, where it's not at least 2, your probability of 0 would be out of 4 total. Okay? There are 0 white cars sold for this, right? And then your probability of success is 1 out of 6, because it says 1 out of 6 are white. Okay, so there would be 0 of those, which means there would be 4 of the failures, which would be 5 out of 6, and then we would multiply those together. Now, anything that is 0 here is going to be a 1. This is going to be a 1, so you can plug those in. And then you do the same thing with the probability of 1. Okay, so the success is always 1/6. The failure is always 5/6. But if it's exactly 1, 1 is your coefficient here. These 2 numbers always add up to the total. And these 2 numbers should always match. Okay, so make sure you know how to use your formula. Okay, and then you should get 0.386, which is the, when you subtract, you get 0.132. To turn that into a percent, just move it 2 places, or you can multiply by 100. Okay? Did some of you, so when I did that, I actually did the direct way, because it was the same thing. So you could find the probability of 2, already found the probability of 3, and then find the probability of 4 and add them together. Either way, you'll get the 13.2. So you can choose. Okay? All right, what about 6? Thumbs up or thumbs down for 6? 6A. 6A. What about 6B? Okay, let's look at 6B. So if it says the probability of just 1 is a vegetarian, okay, if there are 5 students in line, that's going to be your total. Sorry. There are 5 students in line, that's going to be your total. And then the probability that just 1 is the same as exactly 1. Really, there's going to be 2 types of ways they're going to ask this. It's either a language that implies that there's only 1, exactly 1, and then what's the other thing that they could say? At least. So if it says at least, you're going to have to find multiple probabilities normally. Okay, and if it doesn't, then you're just going to find 1. So success in this case is 1/3, because 1/3 of all the students are vegetarians, and that would be to the first power. And then the failure would be 2/3, okay, and that would be to the 4th power. So 5 choose 1 is 5, 1/3 to the first is 1/3, 2/3 to the 4th is 16 out of 81, and then I just converted that, and it was 32.9. Okay, it's fine if you're doing this part in your calculator. What I'm looking for in terms of work is the setup of the problem. So as long as you have that, you're fine. Okay, and if you're successful with just using that, then we're good. Okay. All right, what about 7? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay, the other one, the probability of success was
Oh, what about 7? Those went well? My other classes had a little bit of trouble. But not everything got 'em right. You did too much work, you think? Why? Oh. Yeah, for this one it says exactly half, so that's just, you're only finding 4 because there were 8 hands. Okay, and then for this one, what's the probability that he'll win at least 1? So if it's at least 1, it's going to be a lot quicker to find not at least 1. The only not at least 1 here is P of 0. Okay, so you can do 1 minus the probability that they don't have at least 1, which would be none. Okay, and then you can subtract that. Okay, so what are some things that you think we're going to have to review tonight so we're ready for our quiz?
Probably nothing.
The probability equation?
I'm on that. That's the hardest part.
Okay, so we're feeling good about the mean, the median, and the mode.
Too easy.
Alright. Box and whiskers plots. Alright. Variance, standard deviation. Yeah.
That was a box, right?
Let's not do that. Let's finish our test first, okay? If I can't read your work, it'll be a problem. Yes.
It's all calculated, right?
Yes, you can use your calculator and all that.
So there's no reason.
Woo! Expected value, are we going to remember that now? Because I know that.
You got any homework on that?
Okay, and then I think the part that we're going to have to make sure we're really good about is our explanations. Okay, so make sure you have that key if it's the standard deviation. Outliers are more than 3 standard deviation from the mean. Make sure we know our number line. And then how to create a good explanation when you remove it. Okay, so you got to tell me if it increases or decreases. Okay, and then this would be a great transition statement that explains what's happening. When the outlier is removed, this is what happens. Okay? Alright, so tomorrow, normal day, we'll come in, we'll take our quiz.